Welcome to yet another day of learning about yourself and learning about how to move through life in a more satisfying way through the help of the Bhagavad Gita, one of the world's foremost classic spiritual texts. It's been enjoyed around the world for many, many centuries, and hopefully today it will still help you impact your modern life. This is a serious topic today. And, well, I'll introduce the verse and then talk more about how it really applies in life, and especially at this point in life for many of us. We're in chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita, and you don't have to have Bhagavad Gita to join in or even to have read it or know what it is. If you have any of your Song of Your Soul books, we will be looking at the translation of the first two lines of verse 29 in chapter 9. So that's 9:29. Just the first two lines today. The next two lines are like, they need lots of explaining. Okay. So this is Krishna representing your true inner self, talking to Arjun, who's representing the time-bound, physically bound, limited sense of self that we tend to identify with. Okay. So it's your soul. It's basically your soul talking to you. And your soul is saying, your deepest soul is saying, I am the same to all, none are rejected by nor dear to me. Woo. Those two little lines can be extremely powerful. The soul, the core, the divine, supreme, gravity, truth, whatever you call it, treats all of us the same. I'm sure you've heard the spiritual saying that the sun shines on all or the rain falls on all, whether we consider them to be good or evil. And this is what the soul is telling you, that everything around you, everything within you is being shined upon with the same amount of love and light. It's the limited self that puts filters or blocks on that light. So last night I went to a baseball game. Now, one of the wonderful things about studying like the Gita or any text like that in depth is that you start to see the lessons everywhere, even at a baseball game. So first of all, today's dedication. In an amazing set of synchronicities, so I'm a fan of the Cleveland Guardians because Cleveland, hey. And one of the Cleveland Guardians was slightly injured by running into an umpire on the field who moved the wrong way. And he was collapsed for a little bit, and everybody in the ballpark, yike. And at almost the same time this was going on, a woman 2 rows behind me in the standing room only section said to her husband, I feel kind of funny, and collapsed. And as she collapsed, she hit her head on the ground and you could hear it. And everybody in our section turned. And it was so interesting. Here's a star player on the field, and here's someone nobody knows collapsing at about the same time. But the response was very similar. The player collapsed on the field, the medical staff comes out. Almost as soon as this woman hit the ground, there were staff, there were police, then the medical staff came pretty quickly and helped her and got her to where she needed to be. And it was interesting because on the field you had some resolution. The player got up and continued playing. Yay, Andres. The woman behind us, we didn't even know her name, but I've been thinking of her a lot. And even though I don't know her, I really send healing energy. You're one of the foci of my practice dedication today. I hope you are well. I really do. And one of the challenges of the spiritual path is as you go along and you do realize you have a connection to everything, your heart opens a bit and you start to feel for everybody who's experiencing pain, as if it's your own pain, because it is your own pain. And then the second aspect of being at the ballpark, a tale of two Carloses. So on the opposing team, the Minnesota Twins, were two players named Carlos. One is Carlos Correa, who used to play for the Houston Astros. And if any of you know anything about baseball, there was a big cheating scandal involving the Astros, in which they cheated and beat the Cleveland team in the playoffs. Then, right after him, coming to the plate playing was Carlos Santana, who played for the Guardians previously, but was just this level-headed, always positive guy. And the reaction to these two Carloses was very different. Carlos Correa got booed and booed and booed and booed and called cheater, and Carlos Santana got applauded like, oh yeah, welcome back. It's very interesting to observe this outside, because this is what we tend to do inside. There's a part of us, we go, that part is horrible. Boo, 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 boo. And we don't let the light of ourselves shine on that part. And then there's, that's a great part. Yay, so positive. Let's let the light shine on that. That can be called spiritual bypassing, when we only look at or shine the love on what we think are positive parts and we try to wall off the negative parts. Now, Krishna is a representative of the divine, and as such, as he's portrayed, he can do pretty much everything. In one passage in the Mahabharata, it said he has thousands of wives, but he's attentive to all of them. Wow, thousands. Now, most of us can't really attend to thousands of anything like that, but today I encourage you, if you can, to look at anybody around you to let yourself, the best self you are, shine equally on people around you, whether you think they're cheaters or good people, whether there's someone you know and admire or someone you don't know at all. And it doesn't mean you have to exhaust yourself trying to do everything, but just something. Even as simple as walking to a baseball game through people who are unhoused and looking at them, acknowledging that they exist, or a kind word, or a wave, or when they ask, how'd the game go, answering, instead of just trying to wall yourself out and not look and not shine your love and light in that direction. Anyway, a small plug. This is important work. It's the work of actually if you study the chakras at all, this set of chakras up in the head, led by Agnya chakra. And interestingly, physiologically, if you look at that, it regulates your response to emotional input. So that whatever is happening emotionally around you, whether it seems to be positive or negative, the biochemical processes and neural processes for that are right here in the center of your skull. And if you'd like to learn more about that or have any other classes with me or my partner, Kathy, classes are starting this week. And we would love to have you, because we feel this work is so important. It's changing my life. Hopefully it's positively impacting yours. So let's come into balance. This hopefully helps us see the world in a more balanced way. Let's switch sides. Balance poses are said to affect that energy center and the physiological structures within the brain that relate to Agnya chakra, so that we can become more balanced, not just, on one foot in a yard or a room or a house somewhere, but as we walk through life. So today, I invite you, as we come back, to contemplate for the next 5 minutes, how can you realistically shine the light of who you are more equally on anyone you may meet today, including yourself. 5 minutes. Welcome back. Could that 5 minutes impact your life today? We'll find out, and Cosmos willing, I'll be back here tomorrow sharing these videos, whether you don't like them, which I hope you do, whether you like them, whether you leave comments, no comments. It's part of my journey is to keep shining the light of what little I know out into the world. I hope I get to see you very soon, and until then,